Hey everyone, it's Suey here. The other day, I was at a meeting where somebody from the library got up and talked about the benefits of reading. She was kind of doing a pep talk to a general audience where she was trying to remind people to get their library cards and that reading is good. She was specifically focusing in on fiction reading. And the whole topic just kind of warmed my heart, and I just wanted to come and share with you some of the things she said. Also, I looked up some of my own. I just thought I would share with you what I feel like are the 5 biggest benefits of reading. And we're talking, like I said, not just nonfiction. You'll see what I mean in a minute. One of the best benefits of reading is how it exercises our brains. It can ward off Alzheimer's and dementia and all those kinds of things, and it's great for our memory and our concentration. Like, it's so powerful and good for our brains. And so for sure, like, this doesn't have to be a nonfiction book. It can be any kind of fiction. It doesn't matter the kind of book at all, or the genre, or the story. It can be romances. It can be graphic novels. It can be little kid books. You know, everybody poo-poos YA books. That's going to be another topic for another video somewhere down the road. Or, you know, like middle grade books. No, it can be any kind of reading. It's good for your brain in all kinds of ways. And there's been studies done on this, and I did not look up the actual studies to give you statistics and numbers and all that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, then Google it and look it up, and you'll find that people have done studies on all these things I'm talking about, like real numbers. So for me, I'm getting older, and that whole, you know, losing your brain feeling, going crazy in the end of life is looming. And I am really, truly hoping that all this reading I'm doing and some other things I'm doing in my life help this situation. Like, let's hope that it really, truly makes your brain stay alive longer. And then another thing kind of going along with this is that it relieves stress. And kind of along with that, I read a couple of things where it talks about it helps you sleep better and all those kinds of more emotional benefits. In another video, I was kind of talking about how I get a little anxious sometimes when I'm reading because I feel a little nervous about it just because of some things people have said in my life that make me feel like reading is only something I should do when there's nothing else to do. But so sometimes it might cause me a little bit of stress in that situation. But truly, in the long run, while you're reading, they've measured people's stress levels, and it comes down. Like, even after just a few minutes of reading, it comes down. And after reading like a half hour, it comes way, way, way down. And so I just think this is fascinating in this world where we're just so busy and we're running around all the time and we're worried about so many things, and the world itself is stressful. You know, the world events and stuff happening around us is so stressful that we can help the situation by reading. And it's a good thing for us. It's a good thing for our brains and our bodies, and it's a good thing for our, like, emotional selves too. So I just love that so much. It's good for our creativity and imagination. Now, I've talked many times about how for me, creativity is like something I have to have in my life in order to feel happy. I don't know if other people are like this. I feel like most people are, that there's got to be something you're contributing, something you're doing, you're making, you're producing, you're sharing that makes you feel like you're worth something, I guess, that there's a purpose for you here. And I think creativity is a huge part of that. Like, I thrive on creativity. Any subject about creativity is like so fascinating to me. So the idea that reading itself can boost your creativity and your imagination. I mean, obviously, that seems so obvious that reading helps your imagination because you are sent into these other worlds. You have to imagine in your head what you're reading. You have to picture the pictures, the situations, the scenes in your head. So it really gives your imagination a workout. It's pretty obvious, right? And I just think that this is something that we should remember. And especially, speaking of nonfiction versus fiction, I know a lot of people who feel like that the only reading that's worth anything is nonfiction. This whole creativity imagination thing, I feel like points to fiction as the better choice for that particular benefit. I mean, of course, reading nonfiction uses your brain and you imagine things too, but do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say here? I get so angry when people say that fiction is fiction, all fiction, every fiction is the fluff stuff, and that nonfiction is the real stuff. This whole topic of the benefits of reading is to show that any kind of reading gives you all these benefits, right? Another one is empathy. So it puts us in other people's shoes. It makes us live other lives. It makes us come out of ourselves and see other people and other cultures and people who are different from us, and all those awesome good things that make us live together as people better. I left this one for the last because I think it's actually my favorite one. And this lady that talked in this meeting that I'm talking about, she talked about intellectual humility, which is a term that I hadn't really thought about, but I absolutely loved. And it kind of goes along with that reading helps us learn new things, obviously. It keeps our minds expanding and growing and learning, which is another passion of mine, lifelong learning, right? But the more we learn, the more we realize we don't know. And that's intellectual humility, which is, I looked up a definition, recognizing our own intellectual limitations in the service of pursuing deeper knowledge, truth, and understanding. So basically, you learn and learn and learn and learn, and the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. And you are able to admit that you don't know and that you're not always right on everything. And I love that idea that people who are well-read, who should know a lot of stuff, are actually the people who are willing to admit that they don't know a lot of stuff because of what they've read. Does that make sense? I love that idea so much. And I feel like more people should have intellectual humility. Really and truly. And I mean, if you look around at people who are kind of like know-it-alls, are they well-read or are they not? I don't know. It would be an interesting thing to think about. But yeah, it's a benefit of reading to learn so much about the world around us, but to realize that there is still so much more for us to learn. Yeah, I love it so much. Anyway, those are my 5 benefits of reading. I went through them really fast, but I mean, they're just all pretty basic. Just want to have a little discussion about it, and there's so many ways you can break down all those into different kinds of things. But yeah, my bottom line is it helps your brain, it helps your emotional self, it helps your creativity and imagination, it helps you have better empathy, and the whole learning thing and not knowing everything. It's awesome. So start reading if you haven't already, or if you're trying to get back into it. And for those of us who are really all about reading, keep reading. Until next time, happy reading.